Can everybody hear me? Good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Video. Just quickly finish these off.
Emerson, have you heard from Tony? Is he well again?
He's we'll talk later. He's okay. He's okay, yeah, but we'll talk later.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they rescheduled the meeting that was supposed to be, so he should be okay. But we'll talk later about that. Second. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here.
Emerson, have you heard from Tony? Is he well again?
Okay.
Come on.
So what's being suggested here is that you've never done anything. You've never taken any action. Simply what is being expressed is that there's no you. You've never made any effort. You have never existed. You're not being addressed here because there's no you. So you've never been anything. You've never been in the present moment. You've never been in the past. So who will get enlightened? Who's doing self-inquiry? Who is meditating? Who is present? You've never been loved? You've never loved? Who is suffering? Who is in pain? Again, what's being suggested is that you've never been here. So all of the who, what, when the I is seen as something, as a story, or an illusion, what seems to be seen is that there's never been any you. Since there's no you, there's no others. So you've never seen anyone. No one has ever seen you. You've never meant anything. You've never self-improved. Silly me, thinking that it's all happening to a me. So all of this apparent happening, this illusory happening, is what drives these questions. There's no questions, there's no answer, because this is not being addressed to anyone. There's no one here. There's no one there. There's no one anywhere. There's never been a you because there's no such thing as a history. You don't have any memory. You don't have any thoughts. Let's go further. You don't have any feelings. You don't have any emotions. You don't have a purpose. You don't have a meaning. Should I go on? You're not going to be liberated. You're not going to awaken. Because you've never done anything. You will never get anywhere. You will never get this. Because there's no you. You will never comprehend anything. Because there's nothing to comprehend. You were nothing. That's just even saying too much there. You will never be able to understand anything. You're not even a you. It is very simple. It's very simple. When there is this idea that I am going through life, that I am going to find something, that I am missing, that I am seeking, that I will be liberated, that I will get there somehow, that I will get this. When it's seen that nothing is happening to you, when the I gets out of the equation, when the you is seen through, then everything collapses. The idea of getting somewhere, the hope of getting liberated, the personal freedom, the wanting to be something else, the refusal of acceptance of what is. Since you can't do anything, because there's no you, what's the purpose of this? Nothing. Not even nothing. That's even saying too much. So it's being expressed here again. I'm just going to repeat that there's an apparent idea that you are listening to this, that you are hearing this, that you are getting something from this. There's this illusion that you are here trying to understand, that you are here seeking for something, that you are going to get something here. Let's pull that off and just say that the you is always wrong. Well, that's just another word. You can also say that you're always right, but that's just another word. So anything that the you expresses it's always like a U-turn. It never gets anywhere. It just keeps on a cyclical loop, looping you, others. There's no others, there's no you. And if you have any questions, please go ahead. You can raise your hand. You can also ask a question. There's a couple of questions here that I'm going to read. Ilyana, if you're having difficulties, there's little hope for me. Do you want to expand on that, Ilyana? Hi, Ilyana. Nice to see you.
Hi, now that's better. You were just saying you were having technical difficulties. I was going, my God, if Emerson's having technical. But I love what you've been saying. It just feels so good to hear. Thank you.
Cutting to the chase, right? It's just...
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ilyana. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. Were you reading from a book? No, I was not. I was not. Not at all. That just... No, sorry about that. Do you want to expand on that one, spacious awareness?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
How are you?
So the way that you look at the computer, it looks like your eyes were like just a tiny bit off to the side, and
Oh, I
looking
was
at
trying to look
something.
at the
So I
camera.
was, okay. Yeah. So instead
Someone
of
told me
like,
that I don't look at the camera, so.
yeah. You know what I always do? I focus a couple inches above or to the right or to the left of the camera. Because
Oh,
often some
okay.
people get like, it's like you're looking deep into them. And sometimes it's
Oh,
better to like have like a little space.
okay, okay. I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. It was great listening to it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the dot, in the middle of the MacBook here. And Gillian goes, just thought that pregnant women do not fabricate a baby. It's all done, apparently. Yeah, I think I was talking to someone. I can't remember who it was that when she had an apparent falling away, she mentioned that she was never pregnant. She never had babies, and she has two grown kids. Quite fascinating.
Emerson,
Oh, hi.
hi.
Oh, hi,
So,
Lindsay.
hi.
Hi.
So, two people have said they love what you said, and today I can't stand what you said.
Yeah,
This is rare for me, and it's like every sentence you said, I'm getting more pissed off,
yeah.
and and I'm just like, fuck this. I can't. I'm sorry. I,
No, that's okay.
you know, for this moment or whatever, it's the opposite
Yeah,
of what happening here, which is different than yesterday and this morning, of course.
yeah,
And yeah, there's a freaking eye here, and I
yeah,
don't want it to be here. And you hear speakers go, well, it's obvious. Oh no, it's
yeah,
not obvious. And I feel like the speakers aren't acknowledging that, because you know how the answers are always cancel the mind, cancel the question's
yeah.
not relevant,
No, no,
it's just
yeah.
thoughts, blah blah blah. And I'm getting tired of it. And I love
I
you,
love you
so
too.
I'm just being authentic. And
Oh,
I don't
totally,
know
totally.
I wonder if any other characters here feel the same way sometimes, and just like,
Oh, yeah, yeah. This
thank
is
you,
kind of like
Petra.
almost like a doom
Petra
and
hold
gloom
up.
thing.
Petra held up this finger. She
Which
did.
finger is
She's
that?
like, yes. All right, I'm done now.
No, no worries. There seems to be what, with this, especially this kind of like, really, it's not. Some people, you know what? Let me go to the story mode. In the felt sense of realness, in this felt sense that I am here, it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge
Yeah.
because there's this felt sense reality that I'm moving through time and space, that I am feeling, I am here, and everything.
Yeah.
So it's there's nothing wrong or right about that.
Yeah,
It's just what
I know.
is. Yeah. Love you.
So you're saying it's okay to be pissed off because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
everything awesome.
That's
All
also
right.
that's also there
I
is
had
also
to
no
say
you.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Society
Even
says
if
I'm
there's
not
no
supposed to
you,
talk like that.
no worries. It's okay. It's okay. Be pissed off, be anything. You know what I'm saying? But it's just this, what's being expressed here is there's never been a you that's pissed off. It's just pissed off happening.
I guess I wanted you to fix it, or to
Yeah, that's what it
have
is.
some compassion for these people, where you're smiling and it's obvious, and we're like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then we say we don't hear it, and you're like, well, that's okay too. But
That's okay too. Yeah.
that's not a
Message
satisfying
me
answer.
later. Message me later.
All
I'll
right.
give you a hug.
Well, I want a wrestling match.
Keep on coming back. Hey,
I,
Shelly.
Hi. So
Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Really good.
So I just want to respond to the last person who talked. I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but not that it matters. There's no you. But I find that that it's almost like a dance happening in between the the idea of a me, which, and this is just how the character here sees it, is that the idea of the me isn't true. It can't be, because it's only based on learned beliefs. So
Yeah.
it's based on beliefs that live in the past and project into the future. But that idea of me can't live right here, right now, because it just can't. It only lives in the past, projecting into the future. But with that being said, it's so easy to have that, like a dance between the beliefs and then there are no beliefs, like, or the beliefs are just illusions. It's like, it's so interesting. And I see where she's saying that, because I see where saying, oh, there's no you and everything, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's like, okay, but I'm caught up in something right now, even though there's no me, and I'm feeling it, even though there's no me. And so this was my little visual that I just wanted to share. So I kind of lately been seeing this as bubble wrap. So bubble wrap, like, is the same throughout a whole yard of bubble wrap, okay? And all of those little bubbles are us, our little characters with our own little beliefs. And when we get caught up in that character, it's like somebody squishing the bubble. And then it expands again, and then it might pop. But within that, we're all just aliveness with minus our own little caught up beliefs.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.
Shelley. That was better expressed than I did earlier for Lindsay.
You can use it.
Yes, of course. I like that bubble. I like analogies. That was pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, Ghislaine. Thank you, Shelley. Ghislaine, hey.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, here too, it's a little reaction to what has been said. In the end, it's not really important to feeling there is a me or not feeling there is a me, because there is no gain at all.
Yeah.
It's freeing not being a me, but you lose everything. So
yeah.
Up until you're ready to lose every single thing,
yeah,
you better stay a me, because you don't have anything at the end. Right?
When I used to listen to Tony Parsons and he would say that there's no you, I would get so angry. I remember, I would slam my MacBook and walk out the room, and I'm like, what does he mean? There's no you. There's no me. But actually, what's being expressed is just really plain. It's just a really plain statement. It's nothing that needs to be figured out. No. Because the you that's trying to figure out, the you that's trying to gets angry and kind of like gets is the you that's always been canceled. Yeah.
Here, I wasn't angry after the speakers. I was angry not understanding a word, but in the end.
Yeah.
But maybe the good suggestion maybe for the apparent me that struggles is to have a one-on-one. Go through this, like squeeze that thing, I guess.
It's more brutal than the Zoom meeting.
But it works if you get I don't know, it's anyway, that's it. But it's enjoyable not to be a me.
Thank you, Ghislaine.
Bye. Thank you.
I like your post on Facebook.
Oh, thank
you. Questions here. Is the illusion of I based on learned beliefs? Do you want to talk about that, Shelley? Let me bring you back up. That's a good question, actually.
Sure. I mean, I kind of talked about it when I was on before. I wrote that before.
Yeah. Where are you? Just a moment here.
Oh, I'm right here.
Okay.
Do you see it as being based on learned beliefs?
Not really, because learning is just another illusion, right? There's this story, there's this felt sense realness that there's a history. So what's seen here is just everything is just appearing all at once. So there's this apparent conditioning, which is a story of the apparent individual that has this story of, and conditioning is also a story. So what seems to happen is just this all at onceness that seems to kind of like happen. And then in that all at onceness, there's this idea that I learned this. There's this idea that I am conditioned to do this. There's an idea that, you know, this must be coming from, but there's no character, right? The character is just another illusion. So everything is just all of this and all at onceness that there's no precedent, there's no before.
Oh, so it's bad. It
Yeah.
would be better to put words to it and say that the illusion of I is a story.
Yeah. Yeah,
Got it.
because there's no I at all, right? And it's funny because, you know, when everything arises and everything kind of like it's just it's not even arising from anything. It's hard to explain that there's no time when I'm speaking in time. When people try to perceive things through time, you know, kind of like, so what happened, and happening is in time. All of this stuff is just really, really difficult to express. So what's being expressed here, that there's no such thing as time. So everything that seems to be learned, conditioned, or known, or, you know, is a past. There's no past, right? So the illusion is that it's a very persistent illusion that there is something happening, meaning that it has happened before, and this is as a result of that. So there's no cause and effect. There's no you to have a cause and effect, right? So in this really hypnotic, you know, dream of reality, there seems to be a someone that is understanding, kind of like, okay, well, you know, based on my character, but there's no character even. So it's just going through a story. So the story attaches to a story of a learned, conditioned, apparent individual character. So everything is just simultaneously happening without anything in the past. So it's like these words are coming out automatically. They were not learned. The nodding that's happening there is also coming out simultaneously, meaning that it's not actually hearing anything, but it's just happening. It thinks that it's understanding something. That's what I mean, that there's no you that understands or misunderstands, because all of this is just wholeness with no past or no present or no future. But in that wholeness, what appears is this idea of past, present, and future.
So within the illusion, the idea is just a story. It's nothing learned, just a story.
Nothing. It's just a story, yeah. Like everything that's appearing, for example, right now, is this felt sense of reality. It's kind of like in a nighttime dream. When you're dreaming at night, there seems to be a history, there seems to be a past, there seems to be a time, there seems to be you. The moment that you wake up, well, no one wakes up, there's a collapsing of everything. So everything is almost kind of like collapsing and created at the same time, but you can't imagine it.
Okay.
Because there's no you. Yeah.
That's a good visual.
Yeah.
Even though there's no one visual.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Kim goes, I can't see any point in talking. But talking happens. It's just a happening. You know what I'm saying? It's just. Do you want to expand on that one, Kim? Hey, Kim.
Hi, how are you? Hi.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Just eating my dinner.
Excellent.
Okay. Yes, as I'm listening to you and as I'm listening to everybody apparently tonight, what's happening is everything's hitting a brick wall, in a sense. It's a sense of an energetic hitting a brick wall.
Yeah.
Where I can't go anywhere, and I've sort of run out of punches, if you see what I mean. So I'm actually snookered, but this is what I'm seeing. But it all depends really how how different people sense this energetic, this liberation or whatever it is, because it isn't anything.
Yeah.
Because the mind will never, ever, ever give up. You're just wasting time. Because because it's a trick, really. Because as a question arises, the second you go into it, you're in, aren't you?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Apparently.
And that's the whole thing. It's not believing in any thought, but then again, not to go into it is quite a hard thing to do.
Yeah, but that's also doing something, right?
Exactly, still doing things. Yeah. I mean, I was listening to the first question. The lady who answered the first question, she was on the first chat, and I can absolutely understand what you're talking about. But if you go in again with the mind to mind, then you're not helping anybody, are you? But there's nobody to help. So what can you do?
Yeah.
So this isn't Advaita Vedanta. This is beyond that, isn't it? We've gone beyond that. Tony's beyond Advaita. A lot of people still think this is Advaita, but it isn't. It's nothing. They're still into that questioning and things like that. Some people. But speaking from my own truth is that, I mean, I was lying in bed this morning and thinking in my mind, and that's one thing, that's the dilemma. But actually waking up again to the so-called world and then dealing with that is like a double whammy. So nobody will ever get away from anything, ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely futile. Again, if you have that combustion of that, whatever happened to you, then you realise. But it's very hard for anyone to understand that, saying that you're not real, the mind's not real, this is real, the world's not real, because unless you've had that opening, that space that's open, they're still locked in that prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is. Yeah,
it's a difficult talk, to kind of like talk about
it
this.
Really
when it's so
is.
direct, right? And it's kind of like ripping the veil right away. It's not even lifting it. It's just
it's just going in there. It's just saying. I mean, Nisargadatta used to always say, "That's not it. That's not it. That's not it." And Tony used to. Well, he does exactly the same. That no, and it drives you absolutely mad. It really does.
Yeah.
You feel like walking out, and you do get angry and frustrated. But then again, something happens, don't know what, all of a sudden everything drops and there's nothingness and you're speechless. So isn't that amazing?
Because it stops the you in its track, because the you will try to, or the me will try to get it, understand it. And thanks for pointing that out, because when I was a spiritual teacher, I used to teach Advaita Vedanta. And this is like the opposite of that. This is like the unlearning, because there's nothing that's learned, right? There's no knowledge or no wisdom that's accumulated here. When it's
this is like beyond the mind. You're not going into the mind, are you? What I can't explain it now, but it's beyond. It's just going direct, that direct experience or direct feeling, sensations or whatever. But it isn't about me. But the me, as soon as you wake up, it's about me, I, all day, I. That's people's whole lives, and that's my life, I. Unless you realise it, do something, that you can do with it, then it'll go on forever, and it drives people crackers.
That's right, yeah.
Anyway, but I'd say that. So, thank you.
Well, thank you, Kim.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I used to, when I was seeking, I'll get to you, Brian. When I was seeking, I used to hit a wall over and over and over again. And I kept on saying, it became my mantra, that I will never get this. I will never get this. And then when it was seen, that's actually a really true statement, that you will never get this. I never got this.
No.
Because there's no I to get it.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Kim. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Hi, Emerson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm trying to gel up a thought here, but I've really been enjoying the discussion this morning or this afternoon so far. It seems to me like as a seeker, I come in looking for knowledge. And, you know, I've been doing this for a few years. I think I've been doing this just about the same amount of time as William. And I feel like I understand so many concepts. Like people ask a question and I say, well, I know the answer to that question. But at the same time, I know that it's useless.
Yeah.
If somebody were to ask me to answer a question, it would quickly be obvious that I was digging into a treasure trove of held knowledge. And yet, so going along that line, I'm sorry, this is a little bit rambling.
No worries.
It seems like you could come to the conclusion that this conversation, these discussions are pointless beyond maybe just, it feels very comfortable to be around people because nobody in my life wants to talk about this. Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, I was watching a video, I think it was from your 4-day just yesterday, where I think a woman named Lee kind of was coming apart. And probably she showed up looking for knowledge that she could hold, but something very different happened. And so I just think that's a beautiful thing. So I struggle with, what real and unreal, that doesn't make any sense. And even she said, it's free, but not free. And you guys were able to discuss that, but I can't understand that.
Yeah, it's not about the understanding, right? It's hilarious because when I was deep into seeking, I was a kind of like almost like a hoarder of information, and I would write down every single quote and all that kind of stuff, and was really a very good student, very good student, very dedicated, and listened and everything. But what seemingly happened when this was seen, that the student actually was the obstacle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was the
obvious.
barrier. It was the barrier of because this is not about learning or thinking or understanding. Anything that seems to be, I'm just going to mute. Everything that seems to be learned is it's like writing something on the ocean. It appears and disappears, and it's just this. Someone was saying that it's like a dance of knowing and knowing, knowing and knowing, and the moment that you unknow, because there's no you holding on to anything. Kind of like how I made that analogy of like an open house that everything just passes through, and there's no one home. It's just a whole house that's open. Yeah. And and all of this is kind of like when there's a seeking, kind of like a heavy seeking. So whatever comes, it's held on to it. It's hoarded. All of this imaginary hoarding, and it complicates things. It complicates things. I used to have.
But it can't be helped, right?
No, yeah, it can't be helped. No one's doing it. So
yeah.
What? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's just so funny of how this character was so complicated, with everything, trying to get this when it's just really all too simple. And I can say this, and I know people don't like saying this, that it's quite obvious. I can see Lindsay's that it's too obvious. But it's not obvious for someone. What's being expressed is that it's obvious that there's no one.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Emerson. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. Good to see you.
I like this discussion, but I like the analogy of a spinning coin. You got a coin that's just spinning. And it's not heads or tails. And it's not is or isn't. It's not true or it's not true. It's not real or not real. It's just spinning. And it's not determined at all. It's just spinning. And that's the dance, if you want to say, it's just the spinning, and it isn't until something goes there and slaps down that coin, and now it's a heads or a tails, or it's real or it's not real, or it's something. It becomes something when you slap that coin down. Otherwise, it remains undetermined. It's in the and unknowing all the time. You see, and so it just is there, spinning, and this is it. And there's no rhyme nor reason or nothing to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, including me, including you, including this world, whatever happened is just happening. But it's anyway, it's all there in the coin spinning, but yet it's still nothing happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, the eternity spinning.
Yeah, it's just
No
spinning.
controller.
Yep, exactly. It's not true or false. You know, it's not right or wrong. It's not any opposite because all opposites are included in the spinning of it. You know.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Thank you. I like analogies, and I like that one too. Beautiful.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a couple of questions here from YouTube. We are only thoughts, right? Frederick, we're not even that. There are no thoughts. We're not even nothing. We're not even that. Not even anything. Because there's no we. Carolyn, go ahead. Oh, sorry. You don't wish to speak. Okay. Why keeping to listening to this message again and again? Although it makes no difference. One could say it's what's happening. And as long as the vision doesn't appear, it doesn't appear, and full stop. Yeah, you know what? There's no one choosing to listen or not listen to this. Because there's no doer. There's no one making any decisions. So you can't, it's kind of funny because in one of my interviews, I think I said that in the story of Emerson, there was an apparent giving up. And then someone called me and basically said, I tried to give up Emerson, but within 3 days I came back into it. You can't give up and not give up because there's no one choosing to do the giving up. There's no one choosing to, and again, it's so clear, I'm hearing what I'm saying, that it goes back to what I was saying before, that there's no you. So when it's seen that there's no one giving up and no one doing this, it's just really all simple. There's no one doing anything. There's no one listening to this. There's no one choosing to. The one that's getting frustrated, the one that's all smiles listening to this, is just what's happening. There's no personalization of everything. Personal is just another idea. There's no personalities. Everything is impersonal. So everything is just happening. So the suffering appears when there seems to be trying to give up or trying to get this. The one that is making the effort, the one that is trying to, thinks that they're making the effort or not making the effort, is the same spinning coin that doesn't have an ending. It's kind of like the way that there's a good analogy of this one as well, is it's kind of like when this apparently happens, it's kind of like when a fruit drops from the tree. It can't ripen itself. But it doesn't have any choice because it's a fruit. Just like you. No choice. Thank you for that beautiful question, Carolyn. The vision doesn't appear because it doesn't appear to anyone. It's always this way. So in this felt sense of realness, in this felt sense, there's always this seeing. But what obscures the seeing is the idea that I am seeing this, or I will see this, or I will have the vision. It's that flimsy eye again, right? That illusory eye that keeps on attaching. It doesn't have any choice because that's the felt sense realness. There's persistent illusion that I am doing this. But when it's seen, it's kind of like a spell. Like, kind of like Harry Potter or something, like a spell. You can't undo it. But no one else can undo it. That's a wrong analogy, sorry. Because again, in this expression of this, it's because I told that to someone, and then someone said that the spell has been undone, Emerson. I'm like, who did the spell? There's another question here. The sense of being a person is also just what's appearing to happen. Yes, yeah. Again, the felt sense is just what's happening. There's nothing wrong or right about that. So what seems to be the confusion is that I have to get rid of this anger, of this frustration, of this felt sense that I am real, that I'm moving. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what's happening. When it's seen that there's no one choosing to do any of this, that there's no cause and effect, and that there's nothing happening at all, then the one that is trying to manipulate, the manipulator, the controller, retires. Because when there's a seeker, there seems to be this, I have to get, there's almost like a control freak. I'm not quite there yet. How do I get there? Let me listen to 10 hours of this. Or manipulation. I'm going to, it's trying to change the unchangeable. It's trying to fuck the unfuckable. So trying to control, trying to, even the trying, well, there's no one choosing to try or not. But when it's seen that the controller, the manipulator, the control freak is the obstacle, but there's nothing wrong or right about an obstacle. It's just what is. Then there's a relaxation that seems to happen. Hi, Jade. How are you doing? Jade goes, I'm still a me. So when that collapses, the I am, and you can't do it, you can't undo it as well. When it's seen through, that I am still, it arises, right? This idea arises the moment that you wake up in the morning. Although this is just another story. So when there seems to be clarity, you wake up in the morning, then this idea that, I'm still here. I better kind of watch this Non-duality talk by Emerson. Hopefully that he can undo the me. So that narrator is what's being pointed out here. That is, when is this meeting going to end? Or when is the me going to, that kind of thing. All of this narrator, it's like this, it's like an app. It's like an Alexa or like a Siri or something that just pops up. You can't disable it. It comes with this apparent felt sense, dream, reality that seemingly is happening but not really happening. So it's an appearance. So when there's this seeing that it's just what's happening, that, then there's no one can control or undo it. No one can delete it. It's the part of this programming. You're not the programmer, though, before you get there. And there's no one programming this. It's just this apparent programming that's happening, and it's not really happening. So what the me does is tries to change the channel, change the programming, changes the storyline. Question here. I should wear my real glasses because I can't see. Kane. Is liberation and sticky like a Teflon pan? The apparent liberation, when it's seen that there's no one, everything that seems to happen, it just slides. It's kind of like a water off a duck's back. It's like, like a Teflon pan. I think I when I first started talking about this, it's just everything just appears, whatever it is. It could be frustration, it could be sadness, it could be joy, it could be elation. But since there's an openness, since there is this openness, so what seems to appear also leaves. What comes in leaves in this illusion. It's seen that the illusion is just not permanent. It's just this changing, dancing, spinning, whatever you might want to call it, what seems to appear also disappears. So it could be this thought of like, am I going to have chocolate for dinner? And then you forget about it and then you have real dinner or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All of these ideas are just what's happening. So yeah, liberation is just this openness to whatever seems to be appearing. It's the non-hoarding, the non-doing, the no effort. Because there's no one making an effort, there's no one doing, and no one controlling. So non-sticky at all, yeah. Elio, oh, Catherine first. Catherine, hi Catherine. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. I've been watching some of the previous recording, feeling so peaceful and la la la. And then I come on the live and I feel smacked and beaten, and it's like the little bubble, and especially like relating to there's no past and there was never any struggling, and then the attachment just flares up and it's like, what are you saying? I've suffered so much and I've been striving so hard, and and then the anger and the frustration rise, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, on this I wanted to feel good. I hate you.
It's this is not a comforting communication. It's not a comforting message, right? So the moment that there is a comfort, you know, seemingly happening, when there's still this perceived me, then it thinks that it understands it. Then it gets caught up in this understanding that, oh, I get this message and everything. It's kind of like relaxing now, and then it gets shattered again because the one that's understanding is what's being pointed out here, is the illusion. So it hates this community. It's almost like a love-hate, right? Because there's this easiness with it sometimes, and there's this discomfort with it sometimes, and it's I get a lot of love letters. I also get hate mail because this communication is just so
but
it's
also
so confronting. It's confronting that I am here, that I am understanding, and the moment that it thinks it got somewhere, it's ripped apart by saying that you never got anywhere.
Well, it's the attachment as well, because there was a feeling of relaxation, and the mind makes it up that the next time I watch you, there's going to be that feeling of relaxation. So there's the anger that's not happening. That's not what I haven't paid for it, but that's not what I paid for. But you know, it's but at the same time, it's just whatever is unfolding, you know, and there's no understanding in a way.
So there's this fairy tale called enlightenment that people, you know, hold on to. It's the version of what heaven to them is, or what is, right? You know, and in that enlightenment, everything is seen as this, you know, almost like a rose-colored world, you know, where everything is blissful and happy and everything. But that's another trap, right? Because thinking that this is just all that, you know, the relaxations, like, oh, I must be close to enlightenment because I'm feeling really kind of like, you know, peaceful and everything. What's being expressed here is that this seeing is everything is allowed. So it could be frustration, it could be anger, and seeing that no one is angry, no one is frustrated, it's just what's happening, is unconditional liberation. That's unconditional freedom. If in the morning, if you stepped in shit and you say, fuck, you know what I'm saying? And then also see that no one's doing that. But there's this instant forgiveness because there's no one doing any of that. Nothing's happening. This blissful idea of a man in a robe, in a you know, in holiness and everything, it's just another idea. It's a preferred fantasy of what is, right? So, but what's being expressed here, what is, anything can happen if you like those recordings, you know, and then there's frustration here. There's no one doing that. There's no one frustrated. and there's no one that went blissful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what's happening.
I mean, the idea of a God dropped a few years ago, and when people talk about it and afterlife, and I don't know what they're talking about. It's like it's not when it's dropped, you can't fetch it back. It's just gone.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, but
So
then you use something else instead. You use escape from circumstances. You have different threats, and I mean, I don't like hope either, because I think hope, there's something very fake about even the word and the idea of hope. It's like
there's
but there's still a belief. There's still a belief in reality.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's when there seems to be a falling away of the belief systems, right? But the one that is really held on to is the believer. So when it's seen that the one that believes all of this is the one that is unbelievable, because you think you're still believing or not believing in something. So when beliefs rises and falls, when the belief are seen as illusory, because the believer, the one that holds all of this, is the root. Well, there's no root, but I'm just, in a story, the root of all of these beliefs. So when it's seen that that's dead, so all of the belief are just like ghost stories. It's not real. So every single belief system that you have, or belief that, that, okay, I will come back again, to this meeting because I always feel really relaxed when Emerson speaks, is belief. So you're believing in the unreal. Nothing wrong or right about that. And then when you came
and there's
here,
nothing I can do about it.
There's nothing that you can do. And then when you came here, the one that believed that was challenged in the first 2 minutes that you are not you. It can like, wait a second, I hate this message now. You know what I'm saying? Because the one that is the believer felt comfortable with this communication when there was this apparent understanding of it, when there's this resonance happening. So when it's confronted that it's not real, it's almost got smacked again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell? Yeah. So this is not for the faint of heart, this communication, because it's not going to give you anything. So what appears. So for example, if I when the moment that I said the first, I did not know what I was going to talk about. The moment that I first that said 2 sentences, I'm like, oh, this is not going to be, and I just kept on going. There's no one choosing to do it anyway. Like, this is not going to be a popular one. People are going to be really resistant to this. Although, in the other talks, I talk about the same thing. But when the you, what I'm saying, when the me is confronted full on, it doesn't like it. It likes hearing unconditional love. It's like hearing about freedom. It's like hearing about, the collapse or any of these words that seems to, but the one that is loving all of that is what's being confronted.
This character is not so much in the thinking, but the feeling, the feeling of well-being.
So repeat that again, sorry.
This character is not so much into thinking, but into feeling. So the feeling of well-being or not, and that's just very simple. But I'm still loving your talks. No, it's great. Love and hate.
Yeah, it is because it's not I will be a popular speaker if I just talked about all love and light and stuff like that, right? Because but what's being expressed here is that everything is nothing is everything, and everything that arises that seems to be is really nothing. So there's this ideas of what it should be and what it should be not. But all ideas of what should be and shouldn't be are all ideas. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a question here from, I really enjoy all the smiles. Yes. Can we consider that if there is listening of this message, it's because it's already unnecessarily recognized by no one, maybe life talking to itself, but maybe it's already too much. Yeah. There's this again, this is just another story, right? There's seemingly a for remembrance or a seeing that this is what it's always like. The resonance, that the peacefulness that people seem to see is when there is the absence of someone. Let me go into a story again, and I think I said this in a previous meeting again, kind of like, and it's just really good repeating it. It's kind of like in the story, when you wake up in the morning, there seems to be a happening. There seems to be a happening. You're cooking, I don't know, talking to a friend. The moment that you go to sleep, everything collapses. It's nothing again. And then you probably go into another dream at night and you're dreaming about something, you're talking to a friend and everything. And then you see that when you wake up in the morning that everything collapses again, nothing happened. And it repeats all over again. All of a sudden there's this watching this meeting and all of this kind of stuff. And then when you go to sleep at night, everything collapses again. So what collapses? What is changing? What is impermanent is the illusion. The apparent permanence, which is nothing, is what's happening. So in the collapsing of all of these ideas, there's no you in it. The you appears and disappears. It's like a persistent ghost of ideas and everything that comes in and out, like a phantom. But there's this apparent appearance is very persistent, that it feels absolutely real, and it has a story of continuation. Continuity. So for example, you will kind of like think about, what did I do yesterday? Although there's no yesterday. Or you will say that, in the last meeting of Emerson, I felt really relaxed. This one is very confronting. But there's no last meeting as well. And there's no next meeting. All that there is this. And there's nothing outside of this. So when this is seen, that there's nothing outside of this, any ideas about, yesterday, tomorrow, are just seen as a coming in and out, like bubbles that comes in and out. Lambo Show said, all there is just whatever appearing to happen. Even understanding of this sentence is just what's happening to happen. Yeah. It's just what's happening. And that's even saying too much, because nothing is happening. And it's very hard to decipher, because the one that's trying to decipher it is the unhappening. Hi, Emerson. I really like your analogy of morning and evening dreams and disappearance. Can you elaborate more on that one? I think I just did, but again, yeah, there seems to be this continuity. The only thing that's continuous is actually emptiness. The one that's not continuous is the story. It chops in and out. So there's this emptiness and the stories appearing in and out. A story about, when will I get this? And then it goes to sleep. The story collapses. But somehow the story is the one that's believed. The one that doesn't have any story is unbelievable. So in this emptiness, in this wholeness, what comes in and out, the persistent kind of like hiccup of I am here, I am doing this, you and me, is the one that's actually held on to. But the emptiness that underlies, like all of this appearance of everything that's happening, the permanence is believed as is not seen at all. It's appearing. It's all that there is this emptiness. That's all that there is emptiness. And in this emptiness, what seems to appear, that when will I get this? Oh, he's just, I really like his older talks. This is gone too far now. It's just that's what I'm saying, that the one is the hiccup. You can't control, although people try to control the hiccup, you can't really control the hiccup. So the hiccup is, I am here. I'm getting this. I am not getting this. It's all hiccups. Shelly goes, oh, this is amazing. Will this be on your YouTube station? Yeah, actually, it's live streaming right now. Apparently. The hiccuping guru. No, there's no guru here. Just hiccups. It's like drunkenness. When the me is intoxicating, this idea that I am moving through time and space is intoxication. It's just this drunkenness. It's this high. It's this addiction with the stories. And there's no one choosing to do it or not. It's like this lingering perfume that is dreamt up again the moment that you wake up. It's very attractive, this story. This apparent, although there's no one choosing to believe it or not, the belief in the story is more attractive than the seeing that all of this is unreal. It's like when you're dreaming at night, you try to go back to sleep to capture the same dream. Similar. It's like the me is very, it's the persistent, the persistence of the me is so strong, right? It's when it's seen as just a happening, it's just a popping in and out, like a hiccup, then it's not really that important anymore. What's happening in life is just happening, and they're seeing that there's also no life. But at the same time, there's no truth. Is there? No. Again, truth is conjured up again, right? It's just an idea. So if somebody has the truth, then that's their truth. But there's no truth in them. So how can it be true? So there's no truth holder. There's no authority. Because everyone that you meet is actually not here. And they're just telling you stories. So this is kind of like a break in the story, saying that, hey, it's all stories. And nothing is important in a story because it's just all stories. Do you want to expand on that one more, Catherine? I like that question. If you want to chat a bit about that, let's go at it. Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
No. I haven't got anything to say. I've taken enough stick.
Oh
No, but I like how you responded. That there's no truth holder. There's no. It's not about what's said. There's no person saying holding the truth.
Yeah. Again, it's another belief system, right? That there's truth. Truth is nothing but a belief. So when the believer is gone, there's no such thing as truth. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm aware of, how something can seem so real when you believe in it, because I've seen that happening in the last 2 years. There's the people who believe in blah blah blah, and the ones who don't, and you can see that the people who have such a belief, that's their reality, and they can't see any other way. But then way you've put it is that there's not even a truth holder, there's not even a day, and that's just like, that's a wow, that's I liked those moments.
Because the one that you think that has the truth is not even there. It's not even true, right? If you think I have the truth, then you're mistaken, because there's no one here. So there's no one here that holds the truth. So there's no authority to what, so nothing at all.
Yeah. So even with me, because I have the idea that no, they're a mistake. And I can see I can see it. It's just another it's so not there either. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's much deeper the way you say that there's no truth holder or belief
Yeah.
holder or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just that's just a wow. That's just a wow.
Yeah. Someone asked me this on a one-on-one, and someone asked, how do you know that it's an illusion? Well, there's no one here that knows it's an illusion. It's kind of like, yeah, there's no one here.
Yeah, I mean, even
Yeah.
that it's another wow, you know. It's what can
Yeah.
you say to that?
Yeah.
There's no response to that. There's just like
Yeah. So what seems to appear, there's
Yeah.
just belief on top of belief. So it's belief all the way down. It's kind of like, you know what, that saying, how do you know that the earth's flat? It's on a giant turtle. The giant turtle's holding it. What's underneath the giant turtle is turtles all the way down. So when I see, you know, when I see there's a believer, it's belief all the way. It's belief that I will get this, and it just goes underground. It's a belief that keeps on circling around. For example, it will drop the belief of God or something, and then it believes in self now, a higher self. So it just goes underground. Because once it's figured out that the believer is just making up beliefs.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, that's I think that's I can't stand that either now. But it's like zero, and you add one and one and one, but it's still on top of zero. But it still remains zero. You know, even if the beliefs are 1 + 1 + but that's just trying. You know. Yeah. Analogy, but
it just keeps on going, doesn't it? Right? It just keeps on going.
Yeah, it just keeps on going, and well, that's the problem of the eye, because it wants to be able to control what's coming, and it's just what's coming is just what's coming, and
it thinks it has control. Actually, it doesn't even just think it has control. It think it has power.
Yeah.
This powerlessness, you know, in everything.
Oh no,
happening.
no.
Yeah.
This character hates it. Is so aware of the powerlessness.
Yeah, because it wants to control it, right? So there's
yeah.
It's like I like doing this analogy of you know, it's like you think that you're driving your car and you're turning left and right, and you think you're a good or a bad driver, and you think that you're winning the race. You think that you're a race car driver, and then when someone kind of like someone taps you on the shoulder, you're like in one of those arcade games or a self-driving car that's not going anywhere. There's the illusion of control that you're doing something. There's the illusion that you're turning left or right or and everything, but that's all a game.
Yeah. No, I remember.
I
remember driving 4 hours on motorway and wondering how I got there, because there was no time between maybe leaving and then 2 hours later arriving, and then I had no idea how I got there at all. You know, it's like nothing in between.
Yeah. Again, there's it's a missed opportunity all the time. You know, when it's seen, you know, throughout the day, there is no me. The me comes in spurts. It's like a hiccup, like it's like an allergy, right? It's kind of like, for example, if you're cooking and you're enjoying your cooking, there's no one cooking. I like playing the piano. I like DJing. There's no one DJing. There's no one playing the piano. I mean, and then it's seen that it's like this all the time, though. Not just when I'm playing a piano. Even when you think that you're having a road rage, no one's having a road rage. It's just what's happening. It's because you think that it's just in the blissful moments, but actually there's never been anyone, even in the heated moments, that you think that, oh, you know what, my ego just flared up today and I yelled at someone or something. There's no one doing that because there's no ego.
Yeah, a lot of people are attached to the idea of ego.
Yeah, because there's this perceived idea, or there's this selective belief that, oh, I want to be know me when, you know, kind of like what Emerson speak. You know, someone actually messaged me and they're like, I tried DJing, and I'm like, no, it's not about trying. There's nothing that you can do, that you can do it. But it's because there's no one that can do anything, because there's no one at all.
Already
so
no
when I
one.
explain, there's already no one. So Even the one that's stepped on shit in the morning, there's no one. The one that cursed at somebody, there's no one. The one that is, going wee, thinking that this is just, it's in the shifts, and it's also in the shitty. It's in everything. There's never been anyone. In the shitty moments, in the shifty moments, are all the same. Nothing.
It's just wow. It's just wow. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elio, do you want to ask that question? Don't you feel like a person sometimes? There's no one here, right? And there's also no one there. So what's the character? Or it doesn't miss the drama, when there was this persistent character named Emerson, thinking that he was real. There was a lot of drama that came along with it, because it can't control or manipulate what's happening. So when the manipulator and the controller retired, there seems to be just a relaxation. So it's not missed at all. Although nothing happened. Question here. Question here. Wow, there's really no point at all. Yep. Answer question goes, good point. All that there is just whatever. Okay, I already read that one. Sorry. Sharon goes, I feel like I'm getting sober, but that's a story too. Yeah. So again, it's so easy to get attached to this apparent kind of like, when you think that you have arrived or you're arriving, who arrives and who is arriving? When you think that you got this, who got this? When you think that you know this, who knows this? When you think that you're near, who's near? And it just goes underground into knowing, right? It's kind of like, oh, I'm almost there. I'm 10% more. There's only there's 90% know me now. There's 10% left. That's just another story, because there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain. It's just another idea. And the answer your question, Sharon, yeah. But yeah, there seems to be a more resonance sometimes. When I was listening to this, there was almost kind of like, and this is just a story, nothing happened. There was seemingly a less resistant character. There was kind of like more resonance that was happening towards the apparent ending. And then there was just this acceptance by no one that nothing will happen. Almost like a surrendering. But I think I exhausted my search. I think I did like 8 hours of listening to this communication. Again, you know what? There's nothing that can undo this. This is not a cause and effect thing. I'm just telling a story. So listening to this for 8 hours, writing it, very, very persistent, kind of like seeking. And when it's seen that none of that matters, then there was a seeming kind of like giving up. But no one was giving up. And there was just this almost like an acceptance of what is. But there was still someone accepting it. So when the apparent dropping away happened, the one that's rejecting it, the one that's accepting it, is seen as identical, basically the same illusion. What makes a piece of music sound good? Do you have any thoughts on that? I'm not really sure. This character, loved listening to music from a very young age, and that's a story as well. There seems to be when there is a good piece of music playing, there seems to be a disappearance, in the story. But as I said, it's not in the blissful. Just in the blissful, is in everything. So it could be listening to classical music. It could be listening to death metal. It doesn't really matter. It's in everything. There's no one that's no one's choosing to do that or not anyway. Jade goes, is there control to change circumstance. Is there control to change the no one can control anything. There's no control whatsoever. There's the illusion in the dream, that there is something that I can control, or I'm controlling things. But again, that's just like driving a car that's self-driving, that doesn't need you. Or driving a car that is in a kiddie car, the one at the mall. It's not going anywhere. No matter how hard you think that you're making a quick turn or stopping the brake, or it's always just in automatic. It's just automatically happening, and there's never been a you that has been doing anything. The control to change situation, can it happen by itself? But it just feels like someone is controlling. Again, yeah, there's this really persistent illusion that I am doing everything. So, and even saying that there is just no one controlling this or no one doing this, all of that is just ideas. It's just happening all by itself, and we don't even know it. There's no it. It's just happening. And that's even saying too much. Pure non-duality. Not understanding this at all or getting it all wrong. Well, there is no one doing that. There is really nothing to get and no one to get it. Yeah. No one can get this because there's, as I expressed in the beginning of this meaning, that there's never been a you. So when the you pops in and tries to understand it and tries to get it, it's just what's happening. There's nothing wrong or right about that. Can control appear? Yeah, control can appear. But again, no one is controlling it. No one's doing any of this. And that's what's frustrating with this. A lot of people get frustrated with this communication is because like the question can takes different forms, but it's kind of like, how did you get there and how do I get there? And what's being expressed here, there's no one here and there's no one there. So no one will get this because there's no one at all. And it's just really simple that there's just no one at all. It's just cutting to the chase and just being direct that there's no one. And all the buts are just stories. But if there's no one, far too many words to say nothing. Yeah, it's fun. I could be just blowing raspberries here and it will be the same. Ian. Hey, Ian.
Hello, Emerson.
Hi.
Question for you. If there was no language, would there be no illusion of separation?
I'm not really sure. Because languaging seems to drive, a lot of this separation. It's languaging is what appears, but you're creating another story to create another story. You know what I'm saying? It's just trying to avoid what's at hand. But what's apparently happening right now is just that even these words, we tend to vilify it, but it's actually also emptiness. So all of these words appearing is also it. There's just no one saying these words. All of these words that are just coming out, no one's speaking it. There's the illusion that you and I are speaking, but the words that are coming out are just silence, really, that appears like sound and words or segregated phonetics. You know what I'm saying? Just this syllables, but really they're nothing. It's just nothing at play. Emptiness playing into words, into silence appearing as sounds. So the moment that we take ownership, and there's nothing wrong or right about taking ownership, it's just what's happening. But when these become my words and your words, then that's separation. Yeah. But yeah, it's just another story, but another kind of like, if it's a dream of separation, then it might not be words, it might be action. You know what I'm saying? It might be kind of like signs that separates. It's always going to be separation in a dream of separateness. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Awesome question, y'all. Like that question. Ghislaine goes, aliveness is lost by contemplating the gun and trying to understand it. Yeah, beautiful, Ghislaine. Do you want to expand on that one, Ghislaine? Where are you?
Not really. The
Oh, okay.
inspiration comes with listening and
Beautiful, though. I like that.
Thank you.
Aliveness is lost by contemplating the gone. What already happened. Yeah, and trying to understand it. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know that I've gone over time. I usually do this for an hour, but it's almost 90 minutes. Might as well. There's a question here from Freaky. Confusing is happening. Yeah, but the one that's confused is also what's happening. Yeah. Freaky Deaky goes, yeah, I feel like what makes something sound look good is not understandable. Just like how you can understand this is really interesting to me. Yeah, it's not actually it's not in the words, not in the understanding. Although words in the dream can dispel, illusions, meaning that it kind of like, it's almost kind of like a seeing, that sometimes a word but it doesn't have any power as well. Hi, Emerson. I hear this for a few months now, and it changed my apparent life. There's just this, and for me, there's just no more. Thank you so much, bro. It's very simple. Afterwards, no words needed. Oh, thank you, Antuhoy's Kostra. Thank you so much. No one did anything. There's nothing that I did because there's no one here. But thank you. Thank you for those kind words. Catherine. Hey, Catherine.
Hi. Someone
Hi.
at the beginning, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone at the beginning of the Zoom asked about Tony Parsons. So I don't know what's happened, but anyway, I just want to give my good wishes for his good health. I don't know. So
yeah.
I've not been staying in touch.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that. So.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
That's so good to hear, Antuhoy's. If you want to email me, we can chat and just talk about nothing. Hi, Emerson. When are you going to do another retreat? I'm not really sure. I do enjoy it, so maybe soon again. Maybe I'll do it for 5 days or something. I don't know. I do enjoy it. There's just this enjoyment in doing it because it's seemingly what happens is there's this almost like a roller coaster happening, kind of like what you were saying there, Catherine. In a longer format, there seems to be kind of like bliss, and then they're like, oh, bliss, just like this, and there's frustration, and then people, it's just, yeah. I'll let you know. But yeah, I do enjoy doing it. It's kind of like when I DJ. I like longer sets. I like DJing for like 4 hours. It's the same. When there's no one doing it, there's just this aliveness happening. Well, I think that's all the questions. 8 days, Laura. Yes, let's do it for 8 days. Well, thank you so much, everyone. This has been a blast. Really enjoy speaking to no one, answering to no one. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
We're going to have a breakout room if you guys want.
Thank you, Emerson. Take care,
Thank
buddy.
you so
I love
much,
you, man.
everyone.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, love you all.
Thank you.
Emerson, is there going to be a retreat with Jim soon?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
No worries. Thank you.
All right.